Hey, so in today's YouTube video, I am going to read out some bits of an email conversation that I have had with a guy called Chase. And Chase is in recovery from an eating disorder. Surprise, surprise. Like most people who write to me are in recovery from an eating disorder, apart from my mum. Okay, and so the thing that I thought was really important about what Chase was saying is, if I just scroll up a bit, I want to read you this bit. Okay. So far I've gained X, I'm not going to say the number, amount of pounds, and I'm feeling better and happier. Puts in brackets, trust me, I've still got a long way to go. Pizza, cake, ice cream, mayonnaise, and so many other foods don't scare me like they used to. And I have you to thank for that. Mayo, by the way, has made it into almost every meal since recovery, and there's no room for mayo, there's always room for peanut butter. Well, I totally agree with you there, Chase, that mayonnaise or peanut butter can pretty much go with everything. Don't agree that I'm to thank for that. You are to thank for that. You are the one doing the bloody hard work and eating the food that you're scared of and making it not scary in the process. So anyway, I remember reading your post about how anorexia turns us into people who we really aren't, and I'm happy to say that I'm starting to feel like my old self again. I can tell how much of an ass I was being towards my family. Even my dog, who loved me the most out of anyone else in the family, was looking at me differently. She'd look at me as if she knew I was sick, and I think it really scared her. Now she's sitting next to me, as loving as she's always been, before this disease started taking control, and she act like she got her best friend back. Aww. Animals are the best. Thank you so much, and blah, blah, blah. And then I responded with that, saying I loved what he said about relationships changing, and even the one that he has with his dog. And I know that for me, my relationships changed just immensely in a way that's indescribable, really, because it's all about the way that I would connect with people. It's not something that's necessarily conscious or not. But I noticed that even the way, say if I was in the supermarket checkout, when I had anorexia, people, and especially people who I didn't know and I didn't really have any connection with, it was more like they were machines. It was just people were inconvenient, and I was always in a hurry, and I was just, yeah, I let's just say I don't think I connected with people very well. And that really changed in recovery. And I even started to notice that, say, somebody that I didn't really even know, say at the supermarket, I could be checking out and I would be interested in that person. It was like I would look at them differently and actually see them as a person, which sounds a really horrible thing to say. But, you know, anorexia is kind of messed up like that. And it makes us very self-absorbed, because your brain has to be self-absorbed, because your brain's like, hello, we're in an apocalypse or something. You need to look after yourself. Don't worry about what that person's doing. So it kind of makes us, self-absorbed until we're looking at what other people are eating or how they're exercising. Then we're all over other people, but you know what I mean. And I just began to realize how wonderful people were, I think. Even people that I didn't know, just people are interesting. And my brain began and was able to become more interested and connect with other people because it wasn't starving anymore and it wasn't thinking about food the whole time. So I just think it's such a wonderful thing to see, or even hear via email, somebody who is actually a stranger to me, but you know, to hear them go through. But Chase is no longer a stranger anyway. And then he wrote, I definitely believe that if people struggling with anorexia knew how much their relationships would improve, it would not only make recovery easier, but it might provide the jump start that they need. Even seeing how my pup's attitude has changed towards me keeps driving me through recovery. I truly feel like I'm beginning to live again. I can focus on work more, my relationships are improving, I feel happy. That's pretty fucking cool, isn't it? And it's also really, if you look at anorexia or eating disorders from a biological perspective, it's also a complete no-brainer. That when your brain is in a state of malnutrition, energy deficit, or believes that food is scarce, then yeah, the zombie apocalypse is here. And it's not really going to think about much about, like, I don't know, having a connected relationship with someone. It's just like every man for themselves, I'm doing my thing. And that's what it needs to do. And then when it starts to come out of that, it's like, oh, there's loads of resources. Everybody together. I love everyone. People are cool. I want to connect with them. That's kind of what your brain does, because for the survival of the species, well, number one, individual. If the individuals don't survive, the species can't survive. So if there's not enough food, you have to look out for the number one, and your brain switches to do that and not really connect with other people. But then when food is not scarce anymore, then it's more into the survival of the species. And humans work better and survive better when they work well together and build things and just like travel to Mars and things. Or none of those things you can do on your own. So your brain only becomes interested in establish those connections and relationships when the base level human needs are met. Once food, water and oxygen are met, your brain's onto more interesting things like people and relationships and fun.